Hello everybody, it's Joe here and welcome back once again to my F1 23 My Team Career Mode Season 4, Round 11. We are at Monza for the Italian Grand Prix and we're entering the thick end of the season now. We grabbed our first win in Spa. What can we follow that up with here? First things first though, it's qualifying for this Italian Grand Prix, and qualifying is ever crucial. And so far, the Red Bulls are looking very fast at this stage of the lap. We're looking reasonable, but we need to find that little bit extra. So hopefully throughout the course of the lap, that's what we can find. Into the second chicane. That wasn't too shabby at all. Right, heading into Lesmo 1. Bit deep, but that's okay. Lesmo 2. God, it's close round here because it's very little in it, but yet that's making the difference between first and seventh. So it's going to be so tight here. This has to be perfect in the final sector. That was okay, I guess, but we're still looking at a miserable P10 here. If Drugovich can get onto pole, that'll be critical for us, but it's really not looking that good when P11, P10, despite not being that far off, I didn't think. Wow, okay, that is a miserable qualifying for us. P11, and with it all to do in the race ahead, can we fare any better? It looks like Drugovich on pole with Leclerc second, and Norris could only manage fifth, so I don't know, I feel like there's definitely opportunities that will come to us, but that was a dismal qualifying for us. Hopefully in the race we'll do better.
A difficult race awaits these drivers in Monza, but glory awaits too at the Italian Grand Prix. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Felipe Drugovich lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Norris, Doohan, Théo Pourchaire, Albon, Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Joker, Halga, Joe, Verstappen, Gasly, Stroll, Ricciardo, Iwasa, Ocon, Liam Lawson, Sargent, Vesti, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
We've got a tall order from P10, but I'm going to try a different strategy here and go for a medium start onto softs. And yes, okay, it is going to be a longer stint on the softs, but they're going to be fresh. So, hang on, if we go 10 laps, then I just think this could work out for us, because then it will make us faster towards the end of the race. Right, here we go, 19 laps. What can we do here? We are underway to see what damage limitation we can do. And Tsunoda did not get away very well there at all. But you know what? We're away quite nicely here. The only problem is we're right at the end of we're in the pit line, so I don't want to get an illegal overtake. I'm having a look at Piastri. I've been forced tight. I'm going to try and stay right to the outside. I've had a collision with Zhou somewhere. I didn't really feel a touch. And we've maintained P10, so we haven't really gained from that. I didn't really want to push because I was inside the pit line. And I know it's an illegal overtake if you do that. So, still P10, still where we started. But hopefully we can make places up as we go along. So we're staying with Tsunoda for now as we head into the Lesmos. And I tell you what, that felt nicer than my qualifying lap did. Right, down the straight towards the Ascari. We have made a breakaway from Joe, so that's good for us. As it means we shouldn't lose. We shouldn't be too worried about a threat from behind. But look how close we got to Tsunoda there. The car fell on rails for Ascari. And there are going to be battles ahead. And the one thing I don't want to do while these guys are all shuffling, is Loser Knows. But first things first, I have got to get past Tsunoda. I cannot afford to sit behind this Sauber for too long. I'm going to try and have a look. I just don't think we're getting close enough on the straight. But I'm going to dive down the inside here. And is Tsunoda going to give me the room? Yes, he is. He goes tight right to the inside of the second corner. But we're going to get a better exit. And that allows us straight through up into P9 ahead of the Sauber. And that was a good exit that gave us a good overtake. But now we need to catch Albon and Piastri. We can't get complacent there. My goodness me, that was not a good line out of the chicane at all. And these are the sort of corners we need to make it count. We need to make it count round the Lesmos. And we're dipping onto the grass there. That's not making it count. So we need to do better on the exits. Because on the straights, it's very even Steven. We're not going to gain anything there. It's all going to be done on traction. And actually, Tsunoda very much staying with me here. So we've got to make the corners count. We definitely made that one count. And once the DRS kicks in, well, that's when it tends to get a bit spicy round here. Coming up to the end of the second lap. I tell you what, Zhou definitely must have some kind of damage. Leclerc has the fastest lap of the race. Go on, Charles. Help us out here, because we're not where we should be. And I tell you what, if he can grab us a good result, that'll be very positive, because that means damage limitation. Williams aren't scoring that many points. And Verstappen has now got ahead of Zhou, but I'm setting my sights firmly on Piastri as we go around the curve of Grande. I'm setting up to the outside of the chicane. Is this going to be... Whoa! Piastri's not giving me much from there, and we're nearly losing it. But I'm still keeping my foot in round the outside, and we make the overtake. I was going to quote Crofty and say, is it a Grande move? It was nearly a Grande losing the rear end. But somehow, there was no contact. We kept the car facing the right way, and we are up a position. And now we're chasing Doohan and Albon for the next places. So we're really starting to get a move on in this Grand Prix. We've gained 2 places. Let's keep that momentum going. This is a scrap ahead of us now that is really going all out. It's two sets of cars going side by side. We've got Doohan and Albon here who are scrapping each other. Doohan's just lost the place. And I feel like we're going to have to try and capitalise on this, but we're not close enough to capitalise on it. Oh, my ribs are hurting. I need to remember to breathe. Right, where's Doohan going? Doohan's going to the inside. It was just a little look. Oh, I was tempted to try and stick my car in there, but there was nowhere to go. And this is the stage now. This is where it turns into a little bit of a waiting game and a time where you've really got to pick your moment and not do something silly and lose a nose. Porsche battling hard with Russell, who's battling hard, who's now got Albon to contend with, and we've got Doohan there just ahead of us. So it's going to be a case of thread your way through if we can, but don't lose the car in the process. Doohan is next. He's dead ahead of us while Albon is challenging Porsche. And I really... Whoa! Okay. I clobbered the curb, but at the same time I had to brake because Doohan almost came to a stop there. And Porsche is still on Alex Albon. Jack Doohan's just... myself and Doohan, there's nowhere to go. We've got to try and sling it out of here now. Porsche was wobbly out of there. We're now alongside Doohan. How does this work out? Because the 2 Red Bulls are attacking each other. They're now attacking Albon. Oh my goodness me, these guys are going 3 wide. This does not end well for sure. And Porsche bashes into Albon. And oh, they're all rubbing each other. I'm going to try and get underneath Porsche there. We've done that. Now we can try and get through Doohan. And we're going to go to the outside here. Albon is covering Doohan. Doohan's coming across on me. Oh, come on, guys. Race fairly. This is anything but the problem is this is holding me up. This is not what I want. This is going to hold me up. I think Doohan may have taken a little bit of damage there, and we're now going to try and do him round the outside here, getting ready for Ascari. Alright, look at this, he's got more speed, but we're just going to sweep round the outside, get that done, and now I want to set my focus and attention on Alex Albon, so we're finally making headway through this insane battle, but the problem is we've lost quite a bit of time doing it, and I really just want to get on with it. So now we're up to Albon, and I think this should be quite a straightforward pass, because we're just going to have so much more momentum than the McLaren. Here we go. Albon's going to cover, we can brake a bit later and go on the outside, and we should get that done before, and we do get that done. And who's that that's dropped out? I think we have a spinner. And it's Zhou, so it's Zhou Guanyu, he's out of the race from earlier, so I thought we had a spinner there, we don't. Zhou Guanyu has just dropped out of the race. Russell's fourth, Drugovich is now in third, which stands to reason it's Leclerc leading and Norris up to second, so Lando getting a move on in this race. That's not the news that we need to hear, so we've got to try and get a move on now. Unfortunately for us, there is no sign of the safety car yet. But one thing I want to do is get clear of Albon, because those guys are all scrapping each other. The problem is if we don't get clear of Albon, we're going to get sucked back into that scrap, which is not a place I want to be. But the problem is we have not got the exit from Ascari we want, so we are going to be fighting these cars, and we are going to lose more time. So we've got to make sure that we're good round the Parabolica, and actually we really were not. And we're losing time to the leaders here, which again, more bad news for us. But Norris and Drugovich are battling each other, which is helping us a treat. And if those two can keep battling each other, that is our ticket back into this one. So let's not despair yet, it's not all done. Norris and Drugovich are having their own battle, which is making things just a bit easier for us to limit damage in terms of points off. And we are starting to catch up with George Russell, so hopefully we can give him a hard time before the stop. And with fresh soft tyres towards the end of the race, maybe even, well, who knows at this stage. It's lap 7 out of 19. We're just about approaching halfway, and we have now cleared the Albon DRS prep, which is what we need to do. But now we need to become a threat to Russell.
Okay, keep an eye on that gap
So
ahead,
much that
please.
can happen yet in this
1.6
race.
seconds.
And I'm just hoping that if we run a couple of laps longer, it'll work in our favour. These tyres at the moment seem to be coming to us, because the soft tyres and Norris and Drugovich are still battling. You know what? If we can get up to Norris and Drugovich, I would be happy with that. I would even finish second to Leclerc, I don't care.
We're increasing our gap on the car behind.
But right
Around
now,
a second a lap.
Norris and Drugovich are kind of helping me out here, because they're racing each other. And while they're doing that, I'm getting closer to them. And speaking of getting closer, we're approaching Russell now. So we're getting ready to have a little dance with the Alpine in front of us. Hopefully he shouldn't be too difficult to overtake. We've left Albon and Doohan now on that little scrap, which, you know what, I'm glad that we've kind of left that behind a bit, because that was insane, and we've just lost the DRS to Russell there. Not what we needed. We really needed to be trying to do this now, but it can wait a lap, you know, it can wait a lap. If we can use this section to get close, we should be able to do it on the pit straight. Right, where are we? We're on lap 8, coming up to complete it. And I tell you what, that was beautiful for Ascari there. That was beautiful. Right, we're within half a second of Russell, so I've no doubt we'll be able to do this on the pit straight. You know what? We're going to have a little go. Oh, no, he's not going to see me coming. I think we're going to have to just be a bit wiser. Do it into Curva Grande. Oh, look at the slipstream we got there. Whoa! That was a bit more slipstream than I had in mind. Russell, he's going to cover, so we're going to go to the outside. No, where are you going, George? What side are you taking? Either way, we're going down the inside, and we're taking that fourth position, and we have moved up ahead of George Russell. Next up now are the two Williams for us. And the brilliant thing is, one of them is going to have to pit this lap. The other one will pit on the next lap, and we have got clear of Russell DRS Fred. So the Williams are going to be giving each other a headache for yet another lap, and I wonder which one pits first. I tell you what, we're still in this race for P2, I reckon. It's been a very, very decent recovery. Is anyone pitting this lap? Yeah, Leclerc is in. Charles Leclerc is in. And they pitted Norris. Okay, they pitted Norris. That may not necessarily be an advantage though, because of traffic, so that could still work in our favour. Let's just keep going for a lap and see what happens. But for now, that could still work in our favour, so we push on for another lap. But I think this lap we come in for softs and run the softs to the end and just go ham, I reckon. Just go for broke. Because at this stage we have nothing to lose. So let's just go all out. As we are just nipping towards Drugovich slightly there. Taking a little nibble out of that gap. We're going to be super quick as soon as we're out of the pits. That's the thing, but then towards the end of the race we may be just a little bit vulnerable, but what the hey, got to go for it. Right now this is what Lewis Hamilton would call hammer time. We've taken half a second out of Drugovich, so that's pretty good pace. And Pourchaire and Hauger are about to have a little battle. I think Pourchaire took a bit of damage when he whacked Albon, as we now dive into the pits. And it's going to be a set of soft tyres. Reverse of the other strategy going on. Drugovich peels in anytime now. And we're going to peel in just ahead. And I tell you what, that's going to hold him up a little bit. And that works for us too. Right, where are we going to be when this race resumes? Leclerc has already resumed. There's Norris. So now race resumes. We're in P4. That's where we want to be. And I feel like we are just a little bit closer to Felipe Drugovich. Right, let's get this going. Let's get on it. We need to make the next 3 or 4 laps count. So let's do this. Norris is there. So is Drugovich. And Drugovich is going to have fresher tyres. So he may bring us to Norris. And we're going to use that to our advantage. Let's see how this works out though. At the moment, Leclerc dominating proceedings out front. We haven't seen head nor tail of him as we now try and get on top of this car to go to the end of the race. Albon's gone on hards, which I find really interesting. But whatever, interesting strategy call. But we're now pushing as hard as we dare. And we are catching Drugovich back up, and we are catching Norris. This is definitely looking good for a P2 if we can pass these Williams as quickly as possible. Oh my god, this thing feels beautiful out of the corners as we head down the pit straight. Drugovich just 1.4 ahead of us, and he's catching Norris as well. So I feel like this battle here is going to concertina up. Verstappen is now setting fastest laps. And we're about to enter the DRS of Felipe Drugovich, our former teammate, our last season teammate. Last year he was my teammate, I was a little bit lenient. This season, however, the gloves are off. And that just shows how close the two Williams are. I'm coming to get you!
Okay, so the gap to the car behind is
right, throwing it into Ascari. And we're now within 8/10 of Drugovich. I want to try and save some overtake for the pit straight. But look how close he is to Norris. Drugovich is going after Norris. And I tell you what, if these two can start battling, I am going to absolutely use that to my advantage. Drugovich is within a second of Norris and his DRS is helping him. But we've just done a fastest lap of the race. I am coming for you both. Well, I really thought I was going straight off there, but look at this. Norris and Drugovich nose to tail. Felipe is not going to let him breathe, but I'm not going to let Felipe breathe either. We started this race P10, and I'm hoping to end it in P2. But first things first, I need to get ahead of these Williams drivers, because otherwise we're gonna lose the tyres and then we'll start falling back. So we've got to attack while the advantage is there. But the problem is, Drugovich is using his DRS well, and that's helping him stay right with Lando Norris. He's having a look into Ascari, but nothing in doing in that. I'm going to brake a bit later and just throw it into Ascari and hope that helps us stay. Right, here we go. This is Drugovich going after Lando Norris. They're side by side heading in parabolic, and Norris just about shutting that down. But Drugovich surely is going to have a go here. And I'm going to see if I can follow him with a nice double toe down the straight. Drugovich is through. I've got a fastest lap. Can I take advantage of the Williams battle? Norris is trying to go to the outside. These two are still side by side. And if I play my cards right here, I might be able to jump Norris. Right, Norris is exposed. We're going to have a look down the inside of Carver Grande. Wow, that was a brave one, but I think we're past Norris. And now we're all set to have a dive on Drugovich down the inside. And we passed the two Williams in about 350 yards and move up into P2 in this Italian Grand Prix. What a bit of driving that was. And that was a crucial moment right there, because now I've got ahead of both Williams. I'm up into P2, and I'm going to try and get away from them, because they are going to probably have their own battle, and the further away I can get from them, the better, because now we're in a nice 1-2 position. Leclerc is 6 seconds up the road, so we're not going to be able, I don't think, to do anything about Charles Leclerc, but if we can keep these Williams behind, it's definitely damage limitation done right. And of course, that helps us in the World Championship. And in fact, the Williams, wow, they've really lost time battling. They're now 2 seconds behind me. Leclerc is only 5 seconds ahead. I tell you what, Leclerc's pace isn't that all that. We might even be able to take the Monegasque here, you know. If we can keep this pace up, we might catch him. Nothing's guaranteed in this race yet. I really feel like right now we've turned the tables, and we've definitely got the best package after having such a struggle start to the season and a lot of catching up to do. I definitely think now we've caught up and we've got the best package, but now we've got to do the hard work of taking back those points, and we're still catching Leclerc quite quickly as we head into the final lap of the race. So I wouldn't say never say never in Formula 1. Anything can happen in this sport. And part of me is just wondering, is there 25 points up for grabs here? I'm not sure, but you know what? It's a double win, because we won in Spa, and we're looking set for a team victory in Monza too. So another Crofty quote inbound if we do keep this 1-2. Leclerc has just driven his socks off today. He took the lead quite early and has just driven off into the distance, leaving everyone battling behind him. We're still catching up with him, but I think it would be 2-2 in order to catch him anyway. And I wouldn't want to take this away from him. It's been his race, it's been a superb drive, but I'm very happy to have recovered from 10th and still got onto the podium with P2. One of the best recovery drives I think I've done. And you know what? In terms of damage limitation, I'll take that. Another little hit for the underbody there, but it doesn't matter. We've done a brilliant race today. We've started 10th, made some risky overtakes, got ourselves into 2nd. We won in Spa. We win in Monza, but not me personally. It's Charles Leclerc who wins. I grabbed P2, a 1-2 for the team, some great damage limitation for me, and we drive into Leclerc as we're slowing down. Okay, what's that about? But a nice 1-2 for the team. I will happily take that.
A well-deserved victory. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
The faces on our top three look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all. Let's have a quick look at how the
I will take that result all day long. I was a little bit worried about this one when we started 10th, but we made it up to 2nd, and with a fastest lap as well. That is how you do efficient damage limitation. And it is Drugovich that gets 3rd ahead of Norris, so it does tighten things up in the championship. And actually, we took as many points from Norris as we would have if me and Lando had finished 1-2, so not a bad afternoon's work there. Drugovich gets 3rd, then it's Norris, Russell, Verstappen, Albon, Doohan getting some points here, Piastri and Porsche rounding out the 10. So that puts Lando Norris now 11 points ahead of Drugovich. This championship is tightening up. It looked in the first half as if Lando Norris had this bought and paid for. He was winning race after race after race, but now here we are, 11 points to Drugovich, 39 to myself, Verstappen 60 behind, so I think Max is now just about out of contention. Stroll is 5th, Russell is 6th, then it's Sainz, Leclerc, Hauger and Piastri completing the top 10. With Doohan and Porsche sitting in 11th and 12th. Constructors-wise, Williams still have a huge gap, but we have made a jump ahead of Mercedes here. We've now got up to 2nd. Mercedes sit 3rd. And then Alpine and Alfa Romeo are 4th and 5th. But McLaren are looking at closing the gap on Alfa Romeo, and so too are Red Bull actually, with a couple of points finishes. And then it's Haas and AlphaTauri 8th and 9th, and Ferrari still yet to score and having a pointless home race. Ferrari's season of misery very much continuing. Well, thank you very much for watching this episode of Career Mode. Don't forget to leave a like and hit the subscribe button if you're new and you want to see more content from me. Until the next time, I've been Joe, TTFN, ta-ta for now, take care, see you all soon.